The Rashtrakuta dynasty was one of the most powerful and influential dynasties in South India from 8th to 10th centuries. They ruled over a vast empire that included large parts of the Deccan, northern India, and even parts of central and southern India. At the height of their power, the Rashtrakutas were known for their military prowess, cultural achievements, patronage of art, architecture, and their unique contribution to the Indian history. Let us find out the origins and early history. The origins of the Rashtrakutas are debated. Origins पूरी तरह से पता नहीं है, with some theories suggesting that they were either of Kannada or Marathi descent. या तो कन्नड़ा या मराठी descent के होंगे. The dynasty is first mentioned in inscriptions as early as the 6th century. छठी सेंचुरी में इनका नाम जिक्र आता है कहीं ना कहीं. The name Rashtrakuta likely means chief of a district or a vassal king. Initially, they were local chiefs or feudatories under the Chalukyas of Badami. तो चालुक्यास के नीचे ये फ्यूडिटरीज रहे होंगे. द अर्लीस्ट नोन किंग फ्रॉम द राष्ट्रकूता फैमिली वॉज दांती दुर्गा रेन 735 to 756 CE, who overthrew his Chalukya overlords and established the independent Rashtrakuta Empire. उसने independent Rashtrakuta Empire अपना बना लिया. चालुक्य के जो अपने ऊपर जो बैठे थे उनको हटा दिया. Expansion under Danti Durga. Danti Durga is credited with laying the foundation of Rashtrakuta Empire by defeating the Chalukyas and assuming power in the Deccan. His victory over the Chalukyas and other regional powers like the Pallavas helped establish the Rashtrakutas as a dominant force. His conquest included territories such as Malwa, Gujarat, and parts of Maharashtra and Karnataka. Govind III and the peak of empire. Govind III 793 to 814 CE, the grandson of Danti Durga, took the empire to new heights. He was a formidable ruler, expanding the Rashtrakuta influence over the entire Indian subcontinent. Govinda III defeated his northern rivals, including the Gujar Pratihara and the Palas of Bengal, establishing Rashtrakuta dominance over much of northern India. His military campaigns extended as far as south as Kanchi and Sri Lanka and as far as north as Kannauj. Under Govind III, the Rashtrakutas emerged as one of the tripartite powers along with the Palas of Bengal and the Gurjara Pratiharas, competing for control of northern India and Kannauj. Amogh Varsha I and cultural flourishing. One of the most famous Rashtrakuta ruler was Amogh Varsha I, reigned 814 to 878 CE, who not only continued the expansion of the empire but also became a noted patron of art, literature, and religion. Amogh Varsha I moved the capital from Mayurkhandi, modern Bihar, to Manyakheta, modern Malkhed in Karnataka, which became a cultural hub of the empire. Mayurkhandi, modern Bidar, to Manyakheta, modern Malkhed in Karnataka. Amogh Varsha was a great patron of Kannada literature, supporting the Jain scholar Jina Sena, who wrote the Adi Purana. Amogh Varsha himself is credited with writing parts of Kavir Rajamarga, a work on Kannada poetics and literature. During his reign, Jainism flourished and Rashtrakutas were known for their tolerance toward different religions, including Buddhism and Shaivism. The empire saw peace and prosperity during much of Amogh Varsha's reign, with a focus on administrative reforms and the encouragement of agriculture and trade. Architectural achievements. The Rashtrakutas are famous for their monumental contributions to Indian architecture, most notably the Ellora caves. The Kailasha temple at Ellora, जो कैलाशा टेम्पल है एलोरा में, रॉक कट हिंदू टेम्पल, is one of the greatest architectural achievements of ancient India. It was commissioned by Rashtrakuta King Krishna I, 756 to 774 CE, and is known for its grand scale, intricate carvings, and engineering marvel. The temple complex at Ellora represents a blend of Hindu, Buddhist, and Jain art, reflecting the Rashtrakutas' religious tolerance and cultural diversity. Other important architectural contributions include the Kopeshwara temple in Maharashtra and the Jain Brahmadeva pillar in Shravana Gola. Tripartite struggle for Kannauj. During the 9th and 10th centuries, the Rashtrakutas were involved in a prolonged power struggle for over Kannauj, a city of great strategic and symbolic importance in northern India. This rivalry, known as the tripartite struggle, involved Rashtrakutas, the Gurjara Pratiharas of northern India, and the Palas of Bengal. Each dynasty sought control over Kannauj to assert their supremacy in northern India. Although the Rashtrakutas launched several successful campaigns and briefly controlled Kannauj, they were ultimately unable to hold it permanently due to the constant challenges from their rivals. Decline of the Rashtrakutas. The decline of the Rashtrakutas began toward the end of the 10th century. Internal strife, succession disputes, and the rise of regional powers contributed to the weakening of the empire. The final blow to the Rashtrakuta dynasty came when the Chalukya feudatories under Tailepa II overthrew the last Rashtrakuta ruler Karaka II around 973 CE. This marked the end of the Rashtrakuta Empire and the resurgence of the Western Chalukya dynasty in the Deccan. The fall of the Rashtrakutas allowed other regional powers like Cholas in the south and the Chalukyas in the Deccan to rise. Religion and patronage. The Rashtrakutas were known for their religious tolerance and patronized various faiths, including Shaivism, Vaishnavism, Jainism, and Buddhism. Jainism, in particularly, received substantial patronage under Amogh Varsha I, and many Jain scholars and philosophers flourished during the Rashtrakuta period. The dynasty's support for different religions reflected their inclusive and diverse empire where multiple faiths coexisted. Rashtrakuta administration and economy. The Rashtrakutas had a well-organized administrative system with the king at the top, assisted by ministers and local governors. The empire was divided into provinces called Rashtras, further subdivided into Vishyas, districts, and Bhuktis, smaller divisions. Trade and commerce flourished during the Rashtrakuta period with both inland and maritime trade contributing to the economy. Ports like Chaul and Thana were important centers of trade with Arabia, Persia, and China. The Rashtrakutas had diplomatic ties with the Abbasid Caliphate and the Tang dynasty of China, as evidenced by the exchange of embassies and trade missions. Cultural contribution. The Rashtrakutas were great patrons of literature in Kannada and Sanskrit. In addition to Kaviraja Marga, other works of literature flourished, including Jain and Hindu texts. Scholars like Vijayananda and Guna Bhadra contributed to the Jain canon, while Bhava Bhuti, a famous Sanskrit playwright, was supported by the Rashtrakutas. Their support for music, art, and poetry made the Rashtrakuta period one of the most culturally rich eras in South Indian history. Rashtrakuta legacy. The Rashtrakutas are remembered as one of the great imperial dynasties of early medieval India. Their contributions to architecture, literature, and religious tolerance left a lasting legacy. The Kailasha temple stands as a testament to their architectural genius and their ability to merge diverse cultural influences. Their empire acted as a bridge between northern and southern India, influencing both regions in terms of politics, culture, and trade. Key takeaways: founded around 735 CE by Danti Durga, prominent rulers Danti Durga, Krishna I, Govinda III, and Amogh Varsha I. Empire's height spanning the Deccan Plateau, parts of northern India, and the southern regions. Capital initially Mayur Khandi, later Manya Kheta. Architectural achievements: Kailasha temple at Ellora. Religion patronized Jainism, Shaivism, Vaishnavism, and Buddhism. Decline: overthrown by the Western Chalukyas in 1973 CE. Here is a chronological list of the major Rashtrakuta kings along with their approximate reign periods. Who all? Let's see one by one. Number 1, Danti Durga reigned 735 to 756 CE. 35 to 756 CE. Founder of the Rashtrakuta dynasty, overthrew the Chalukyas of Badami and established Rashtrakuta rule in Deccan. Number 2 is Krishna I, reigned 756 to 774 CE, successor of the Danti Durga, known for commissioning the construction of Kailasha temple at Ellora, consolidated Rashtrakuta power in the Deccan. Then is Govinda II, son of Krishna I. His reign was marked by internal strife and the loss of some territories, deposed by his brother Dhruvad Dharavarsha 774 to 780 CE. Dhruvad Dharavarsha reigned 780 to 793 CE, a strong ruler who brought stability to the empire and expanded Rashtrakuta influence through successful campaigns in northern and southern India. Then is Govinda III, one of the greatest Rashtrakuta kings. His reign marked the zenith of Rashtrakuta power with successful campaigns against the Palas, Gurjara Pratiharas, and Pallavas. Amogh I reigned 814 to 878 CE, a long reigning and culturally significant monarch known for shifting the capital to Manyakheta and for his patronage of literature, particularly Kannada literature. His reign was one of peace and prosperity. Krishna II, his reign witnessed some decline in Rashtrakuta power, although he maintained control of the core areas of the empire, 878 to 914 CE. Then is Indra III, reigned 914 to 927 CE, successfully restored Rashtrakuta dominance, launching campaigns in the north and defeating the Gurjara Pratihara to briefly control Kannauj. Amogh II reigned 927 to 930 CE. His short reign was marked by internal disputes and lack of significant achievements. Then is Govinda IV. His reign was controversial due to internal conflicts, eventually deposed by the nobles. Amogh III. His reign was brief and largely uneventful. 935 to 939 CE. Krishna III reigned 939 to 967 CE. A strong and capable ruler who expanded Rashtrakuta territory into the southern regions, defeating the Cholas and Pandyas. His reign saw the last significant phase of Rashtrakuta power. Then his Khotika Amogh IV reigned 967 to 972 CE. His reign marked the beginning of the Rashtrakuta decline as he faced increasing pressures from the rising western Chalukyas and other regional powers. Karka II reigned 972 to 973 CE, the last Rashtrakuta ruler. He was overthrown by Tailepa II of the western Chalukyas, marking the end of the Rashtrakuta dynasty. These kings ruled during the 8th to 10th century, with the Rashtrakuta Empire being one of the most powerful and influential clans in the history of South India. Their influence spanned across Deccan, North India, and parts of South India. Thereafter, let's see the Pala dynasty. The Pala dynasty was a major imperial power in the Indian subcontinent, ruling much of present-day eastern India, Bangladesh, parts of Nepal from 8th to 12th century CE. They were known for their patronage of Buddhism, extensive trade networks, and significant contributions to art and education, particularly the establishment of the famous Vikramashila and Nalanda universities. Below is a chronological list. Let's see the chronological list of the kings. Gopal I reigned 750 to 770 CE. The founder of the Pala dynasty, Gopal I, was elected king by a group of local chieftains amidst a period of political instability in Bengal. He is credited with stabilizing the region and laying the foundation for the powerful Pala Empire. His reign saw the consolidation of power in Bengal and the beginning of Pala influence over neighboring regions. Then is Dharmapala, reigned 770 to 810 CE, son of Gopala I. Dharmapala expanded the Pala Empire significantly. He is considered one of the greatest Pala rulers. He successfully intervened in northern Indian politics and placed his nominee Chakra Yudh on the throne of the Kannauj. His empire stretched across Bengal, Bihar, and parts of Uttar Pradesh, and he challenged the Gujarat, Pratihara, and Rashtrakutas for supremacy in northern India. Dharampala was a devout Buddhist and founded the famous Vikramashila University. Devapala, son of Dharmapala, Devapala extended, this is 810 to 850 CE, extended the empire to its zenith. He launched successful military campaigns against the Gurjara, Pratihara, Rashtrakutas, and kingdoms in the northeast. Devapala's reign saw the peak of Pala territorial control, with influence extended from Bengal to Assam and the east part of the northern India and even into the Deccan. He was also a significant patron of Buddhism, contributing to the expansion of Nalanda and Vikramashila universities. Then is Shurapala, reigned 850 to 860 CE. The reign of Shurapala I is less well documented. He appears to have maintained the stability of the empire but did not achieve the same level of expansion or influence as his predecessors. Then is Vigrahapala I, reigned 860 to 868 CE. Brief and relatively uneventful reign. His reign marks the beginning of a phase of decline in Pala power due to internal strife and external pressures from rival dynasties like Pratiharas and Rashtrakutas. Then is Narayanpala, reigned 868 to 908 CE. Narayanpala presided over further weakening of the Pala empire. While his reign was marked by peace and stability in the core regions of Bengal, he lost control of many peripheral areas. During his reign, the empire's power was increasingly challenged by Gurjara Pratiharas in the west. The Rajapala, little is known about the Rajapala's reign, 908 to 940 CE, though it continued to continue the general trend of weakening central authority and loss of influence in northern India. Then is Gopala II, 940 to 960 CE. The reign of Gopala II saw further decline. The empire lost significant territories to neighboring kingdoms, and there was a general disintegration of Pala control outside Bengal. Then is Vigrahapala II, reigned 960 to 1988 CE. His reign marked a period of further fragmentation of the empire, however, it managed to maintain control over parts of Bengal and some neighboring regions. Internal rebellions and external invasions weakened the dynasty during his reign. Mahipala I is often credited with reviving Pala power after a period of decline, 988 to 1038 CE. He recaptured parts of Bihar and Bengal and consolidated Pala rule. His reign saw efforts to restore the administration and infrastructure of the empire. Mahipala I also continued the Palan tradition of patronizing Buddhism and the Nalanda and Vikramashila universities. Nayapala reigned 1038 to 1055 CE, son of Mahipala I, and Nayapala continued the struggle against the rising power of Chalukyas and Kalachuris. His reign was marked by efforts to maintain control over the core territories of Bengal and Bihar, though the empire's overall strength remained diminished. Then is Vigrapala III. His reign saw ongoing conflict with the Kalachuri dynasty, but he managed to maintain the integrity of the Pala territories in Bengal, reigned 1055 to 1070 CE. Then is Mahipala II, reigned 1070 to 175 CE. His short reign was marked by internal discord and rebellion contributing to the continued decline of the Pala Empire. Then is Shaurapala, reigned 107 to 1077 CE. Shaurapala's II reign was briefly and largely unremarkable, contributing little to the revival of Pala fortunes. Then is Ramapala, reigned 1077 to 1130 CE. Rampala was the last significant Pala ruler. He succeeded in restoring some degree of Pala power and influence, particularly in Bengal. He is credited with partially reviving the empire and stabilizing the region. His reign is detailed in the Ram Charita historical text. Ramapala attempted to consolidate control over Assam and Bengal, but the decline of the dynasty had already began. Then is Kumarapala, a relatively weak ruler. His reign marked the beginning of the final decline of the Pala dynasty. It is from 1130 to 1140 CE. Gopala III reign was characterized by the continued disintegration of the empire, with the remaining territories largely limited to parts of Bengal. Then is Madanapala. Madanapala is considered the last ruler of the Pala dynasty with any significant power, 1150 to 1161 CE. His reign saw the final collapse of Pala authority as the Sena dynasty rose. उसके बाद कौन सी आई? Sena dynasty rose to prominence in Bengal. Then is Govindapala, the last known Pala king, whose reign was largely symbolic. By the time of his rule, the Palas had lost most of his territories to the Senas. The dynasty faded into the obscurity, 1161 to 1174 CE. What are the key aspects? The Pala Empire was Buddhist in its religious orientation, became a major center of Mahayana Buddhism. The Palas were great patterns of learning and culture, establishing Nalanda and Vikramashila universities, which attracted scholars from all over the world. The Pala period is known for its contribution to the Buddhist art and the development of a unique style of sculpture and architecture known as Pala art. The dynasty's decline began after Devapala, with external invasions and internal divisions eroding their power, eventually leading to the replacement by the Sena dynasty in Bengal. Happy learning. Thank you.